Have you guys ever wondered what it would be like to have the mechanical prowess similar to that of Faze Sway or X, specifically when it comes to creative free building? Because let me tell you, I sure have. While this channel is primarily a Fortnite competitive tips and tricks channel, and you wouldn't say that creative free builds is particularly competitive, I do think it is very important that you guys learn the proper etiquette when approaching creative free building. So that's why in this video, I'm going to break down 5 different tips when it comes to free build elements that you guys are going to implement into your own free builds. Well, I'm going to make it very clear right now, I'm not going to show you entire free build routines. I want to give you guys just enough information such that you can build your own free builds. I'm going to give you guys the tools and I'm going to show you crosshair placement, best case scenarios, use cases of each single technique that I use. So if you guys are excited for the video, you guys already know the drill. Make sure to go ahead and leave a like on the video if you're excited. Why don't you go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Over 90% of you guys still aren't subscribed to the channel. You guys are literally throwing. I'm making content just like this every single week. So if you guys want to keep it updated, make sure to turn on that bell as well. And finally, go ahead down to the comments and I want you guys to answer the question of the day, which is, who do you think is the best creative free builder in the world right now? It could be any region, could be any platform. Just let me know in those comments right now and I'll let you know if I agree or disagree. With that said, let's get right into the video. All right guys, so we're going to jump into the first tip, which is going to be using your cones wisely and using them to extend your builds out. Now, what do I mean by this? So basically, if you've ever watched any of those creative warriors, mainly Faze Sway, he's one of the inventors of this. You take your cone and then you actually end up using it as a ramp by editing 2 tiles of it. The way that it's generally used in creative is, say that you have a setup something like this right here and you place a cone. Something that you can do with the cone is that you edit the 2 tiles and then that's going to give you an extended area to do a high ground retake. You place a floor and another ramp and then you can extend out and then you can go on with your high ground retake, whatever you plan on doing. Now, if you guys are beginners and you're just starting to do high ground retakes, you might have seen the altered version of Faze Sway's high ground retake, where basically instead of placing the cone, you just place a ramp and then you go up and do your retake or do whatever you want to do. But the problem here is that it's basically like the toddler version of the real retake. About extended cone placements is that if you want to actually build off of them, you're gonna have to be very deliberate based on how you put your crosshair. So once again, we're gonna go back to this configuration. See that if you want to edit the 2 tiles, how far out I have to look to confirm that edit, to have the right edit. Now, sometimes guys, if you actually want to do this setup and you don't put your crosshair in the right place, as you're running, you'll actually see that you're not going to be able to hit the edit if your crosshair is too low. So what I advise you guys to do is get in the habit of placing the cone here and then looking as far up as possible that the cone will let you. Because as you jump up, you want to be looking higher and higher, such that when you place that ramp there, you're gonna hit the edit every single time. So the next free build tip that I want to talk to you guys about is actually gonna come from the quarter tile edit. Basically this. Now, you might not think anything of it at first. You say, okay, like you're just doing a quarter edit, but I actually want to point out a few use cases that will actually turn your free builds more smooth and more aesthetically pleasing. Once again, we're trying to go for what's going to look the flashiest, what's going to look the nicest, what's going to look the smoothest, and this is going to be one thing that you're going to want to put in your rotation. First and foremost, quarter tile edits are really good if you want to actually do side jumps that are protected and make them look flashy in the process. So say you're doing a double edit right here, instead of just jumping to the side and doing a side edit, as you see here, what you'll want to do to make it look a lot more flashy is do the quarter edit, either here or here. I like to do on the outside here, and then place a wall in between and then swivel around and jump. What it does in effect is it makes your same side jump look a lot more flashy, because it looks more flashy jumping around and doing a specific movement to do that entire sequence than it would be just to do a side jump. There is a tip that I have for you guys for this specific trick as well, and that's going to be to make sure that your movement is aligned parallel horizontally to the ramp. When you hit this edit right here, you want to kind of stay on the right side, hit the edit, place the wall, and then I want you guys to almost move back down the ramp as you move forward. You don't want to like continue moving forward up the ramp, so you go sideways and then you go up, because if you keep on going up, then you're going to hit your head on the wall. See how I engage directly to the left? So what I'm doing there is I'm hitting my A key. I'm on keyboard and mouse. For you controller players out there, you just hold your joystick to the left, but I'm holding my A key, so I go straight to the left as I'm looking to the left. Another reason why I really like the quarter tile edit is actually because you can do something very, very flashy. It's going to take a lot of experience, and this is a very advanced trick, but something that looks like something like this. So something like that. Now the reason why this logically works is that you can't actually jump over a whole tile from the ground. See, it just simply won't work. But if you get a little bit of a boost, you can actually get up to the second tile, and doing a quarter tile edit, a half tile edit, or even a 3/4 tile edit, all of these are going to give you just enough height if you stand on the edge to allow you to jump to the next layer. Alrighty guys, so the third creative free build technique that I want to show you guys, you must have this one locked down if you are anywhere near a pro level creative free builder, and it's going to be Parallel Beats' 90-degree full jump. Now the reason why this one is so insane is that you could actually get what we talked about in the last tip, the full single tile jump from the ground, using this simple trick. And now the idea of it is that you stand really close to the left side, about 2/3 on the left, and if you jump and at the max height, you jump and place a ramp and a floor, you're going to be able to go up an entire tile. And now the reason for this is because you actually get phased up when you actually hit the ramp. So when you do a ramp phase right here, it gets you up for just a split second, just high enough to where you can actually place the floor. That's why you want to be close enough to the left where you phase over this, because at that point, once you place the floor, it's just going to phase you above it. But if you're too far to the right, just like you see here, you're not going to get phased above the floor. That one really has some sick outplay potential. If you're talking about it from a competitive scenario, it's really good if you're in like a really confined space and you need to get elevation. Because obviously if you do a ramp rush, that's not going to work. You could also do 90s, which will work. But in terms of just going up one layer, right, this is going to be one of the easiest ways to do it. And from a creative scenario, guys, this is the fastest way, hands down, to go up an entire block, because you don't actually move at all when you do a beach jump. All you're doing is going one jump. The time it takes for you to do one whole jump is the time it takes to do this technique. Moving on into the fourth tip, gentlemen, I actually want to transition over to the second part of creative free building, which is going to be securing the elimination. So these next two tips are going to be about how to finish your kills in style. The problem here is that a lot of people can do sick builds, sick edits, but they just can't hit that last shot that's going to make it clip worthy. Because what's a creative free build if you don't get that sick 200 pump right at the end on your opponent? I'm going to teach you two different ways that you're going to be able to go ahead and secure your eliminations. One of the most staple elimination styles that you can use at the end of your free build is going to be what's called the ramp trap. Initially coined in 2019, creative free builders would actually do a series of triple edits where you would end up placing a build to wherever you feel like your opponent's going to go. You place the ramp adjacent to that. You open up the window, you place a ramp, and then you flip the ramp. Meaning that if your opponent is going to end up where you think they are, which is right here, since you already own this wall right here, you can place a ramp, you can do whatever you want with the ramp, and you can end up getting an easy elimination. Another variant to that is going to be the cone trap, also known as the Venus flytrap. This was actually first seen in a competitive scenario. I believe it was Som that actually coined this back around the World Cup days. And I want to bring this up again because, again, this is very, very applicable to a creative free build scenario. Once again, you would place your wall wherever you expect your opponent to be, adjacent to where you expect your opponent to be. This assumes that you already have height, of course, and your opponent's trying to retake it in front of you. You edit a single tile in the middle, or you could edit a single tile on the left or right, just depending on really where you're kind of going with it. Place that cone, edit the cone, and that's exactly why you actually want to have a center wall edit, so that you have a bigger wall to actually edit this. And you do the same exact thing. And if you want to do a quarter tile edit on either side, you can. It's just a little bit of flavor. That's up to you, your discretion. Keep in mind, guys, you want to make this unique to yourselves. You don't want to just do Faze Sway retakes, because Faze Sway already does that. You know, you have a bunch of free builders that are doing Faze Sway retakes into 200 pumps. So I'm giving you these tools once again, and I talked about this at the beginning, but I'm going to bring it up again. It's very important. You want to be using these tools to make your own free build routines, like an entire 30-second free build. That's why I'm not showing you an entire routine, because keep in mind, like, if you just copy me and do what I do, you're not original. And if I do what someone else does, I'm not original. So I'm giving you guys techniques to put into your free build routine, such that when you put it all together, it's going to be one of a kind and it's going to be yours. So anyways, we're going to be moving along to our final tip, which is actually going to be ramp flips. And this comes in multiple shapes and sizes. You could be talking about horizontal 90 degrees, 180 degrees, ramp flips. It really just depends on what the situation calls for. Now, the idea here is that if you're in a scenario where you're ramp rushing, double ramp, one on top of you, protected ramp rush, and you place one cone over your head. Sorry, not another cone, a ramp over your head. So you have one extra ramp on top of you. What you could end up doing is edit this one to the side, a 90-degree edit, and then place walls horizontally and give you an opportunity to do a high ground retake. So once again, it's going to look something like this. So something like that. Another trick you could do is if you're all the way in the corner, you can get on top of it. So once again, there's many variants to this. So I want you guys to just implement the ramp flip into your variations, implement it into your rotation, stay unpredictable, and have really more tools at your arsenal. So when you go for a free build rotation, you're not doing the same, you know, cone placement, 200 pump, oh my god, I'm gonna be on the front page of Reddit. No, none of that. You're gonna have a lot of different tools at your disposal. Alrighty, there you guys have it. 5 different techniques that you guys are gonna be able to implement into your creative free builds and become a more well-rounded player. If you guys did enjoy the video and you made it to this point, please consider leaving a like, and once again, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And with that said, I'll see you guys all in the next one.